Folks, those immigrants never bothered you. They never ate the cats and dogs, and they've never made your life more difficult. In fact, if they've done anything, they've made your life better.
Let me stop you right there, buddy. Illegal immigrant held without bail and death of University of South Carolina student. The illegal immigrant accused of killing a University of South Carolina student in a hit-and-run crash is being held without bail. Jail records show Rosalie I. Fernandez Cruz, 24, is accused of striking and killing Nathaniel Baker, 21, in Columbia, South Carolina. Indian immigrant truck driver accused of killing 3 people in a crash when he made an illegal U-turn across a Florida highway, badly flunked English fluency and road sign tests following the smash-up, U.S. Department of Transportation revealed. Harjinder Singh answered just 2 of 12 questions correctly when being tested for English language proficiency by the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration after the April 12th crash. Illegal immigrant with numerous run-ins with the law who was ordered deported 6 years ago stands accused of killing a young Virginia college student in a horrific car crash. Illegal immigrant who drove an SUV into a sedan carrying a young mother and her 11-year-old daughter, killing both, had a blood alcohol level 3 times the legal limit, New Jersey officials revealed this week. 7-year-old Ivory Smith was killed by Venezuelan migrant Joel Enrique Gonzalez Chasen in a late-night drunk driving accident in North Houston. An illegal alien from Honduras faces deportation after allegedly driving while intoxicated and crashing, killing 2 teenagers in Dane County, Wisconsin. A Mexican national and twice deported illegal alien whose criminal history includes 9 arrests and a vehicular manslaughter conviction for killing 2 teenagers in Orange County was arraigned today on a felony federal charge. A woman who was in the U.S. illegally admitted to causing a head-on wrong-way crash that claimed the life of a young Missouri boy. The fatal crash happened on December 20th, 2023, when 33-year-old Adrena Bracho barreled down the highway the wrong way, going 75 miles per hour at the time of the crash. 16-year-old undocumented immigrant from Colombia was previously sentenced to probation and community service in connection with the July 2024 death of 24-year-old Caitlin Weaver in Aurora, Colorado. The sentencing followed a plea agreement reached with prosecutors. An illegal immigrant who struck and killed a girl with a car was provided a driver's license in the state of Oregon. Elvin Elgardo Ramos Caballero was released into the country by the Obama administration and ordered to be deported, Fox News reported. On top of that, I've got my own little personal story. I had 2 Venezuelan migrants, a couple illegals, run me off the interstate going 70 miles an hour just last November. It's been about a year now. You think they asked if I was okay? No. They asked which way was Chicago. They're seeking asylum. And then when the other fella that stopped to check on us and make sure everybody was fine pointed, they ran off into the night down the goddamn interstate. Police showed up because I called them. They said, yeah, well, nothing we can really do. We'll get a wrecker out here to get this blazer out the middle of the interstate. You okay? Yeah, I'm okay. About lost it. About died, but I'm good. All right, cool. Have a good night. Meanwhile, these assholes are going to run up to Chicago and add more to the taxpayer dime. Just living off of us. Illinois slated to spend $2.5 billion on resources for illegal immigrants by the end of 2025. But these Democrats want to be like, oh no, they pay in taxes and they're not eligible for welfare programs and blah blah blah. So actually, they're a boon to our economy. Let's talk about that. From Congress.org, the cost of illegal immigration to taxpayers. Prepared testimony of Stephen A. Camarata, Director of Research, Center for Immigration Studies for Immigration Integrity, Security, and Enforcement Subcommittee of the House Judiciary Committee. Summary: illegal immigrants are a net fiscal drain, meaning they receive more in government services than they pay in taxes. This result is not due to laziness or fraud. Illegal immigrants actually have high rates of work, and they do pay some taxes, including income and payroll taxes. The fundamental reason that illegal immigrants are a net drain is that they have a low average education level, which results in low average earnings and tax payments. It also means a large share qualify for welfare programs, often receiving benefits on behalf of their U.S. born children. Like their less educated and low income U.S. born counterparts, the tax payments of illegal immigrants do not come close to covering the cost they create. Further down, using the National Academy's estimate of immigrants' net fiscal impact by education level, we estimate that the lifetime fiscal drain, taxes paid minus costs for each illegal immigrant, is about $68,000, although this estimate comes with some caveats. Illegal immigrants make extensive use of welfare based on government data. We estimate that 59% of households headed by illegal immigrants use one or more major welfare programs, compared to 39% of households headed by the U.S. born. Based on their use rate of major welfare programs, we estimate that illegal immigrants receive $42 billion in benefits, or about 4% of the total cost of the cash, Medicaid, food, and housing programs examined in our study. However, this is only a rough approximation due to the limitations of the data. Illegal immigrants can receive welfare on behalf of U.S. born children. Also, illegal immigrant children can receive school lunch, breakfast, and WIC directly. A number of states provide Medicaid, and some illegal immigrants and a few provide SNAP. Several million illegal immigrants also have work authorization, e.g. DACA, TPS, and some asylum applicants, allowing receipt of the EITC. In addition to consuming welfare, illegal immigration makes significant use of public education. Based on average cost per student, the estimated 4 million children of illegal immigrants in public schools created $68.1 billion in costs in 2019. The vast majority of these children are U.S. born. Use of emergency medical services is another area in which illegal immigrants create significant fiscal costs. Prior research indicates that there are 5.8 million uninsured illegal immigrants in the country. In 2019, accounting for a little over 1/5 of the total population without health insurance. The cost of providing care to them likely totals some $7 billion annually. Illegal immigrants do pay some taxes. We estimate that illegal immigrants in 2019 paid roughly $5.9 billion in federal income tax, $16.2 billion in Social Security tax, and $3.8 billion in Medicaid taxes. However, as the net fiscal drain of $68,000 per person cited above indicates, these taxes are not nearly enough to cover the cost of the services they receive. Illegal immigrants do add perhaps $321 billion to the nation's GDP, but this is not a measure of their tax contributions or the benefits they create for the U.S. born. Almost all the increases in economic activity goes to the illegal immigrant themselves in a form of wages.
And that brings us to this.
Minnesota taxpayer dollars funneled to Al-Shabaab terror group, report alleges. A new investigation found that Minnesota taxpayer dollars were going far beyond the North Star State's border and ending up in the hands of Al-Shabaab, an Al-Qaeda-linked terror group. Ryan Thorpe and Christopher F. Rufo of the Manhattan Institute uncovered a web of fraud involving Minnesota's Medicaid Housing Stabilization Services Program, Feeding Our Future, and other organizations in a bombshell report. Thorpe and Rufo noted that in many cases, members of Minnesota's Somali community were perpetrators of fraud. They added that federal counterterrorism sources confirmed that millions of dollars in stolen funds were sent back to Somalia, which is how Al-Shabaab got the cash. Thorpe and Rufo sought to answer a bigger question when looking into the schemes. Where did the money go? As it turned out, the Somali fraud ring sent money transfers from Minnesota to Somalia, and according to reports, approximately 40% of households in Somalia get remittances from abroad. Thorpe and Rufo state that in 2023, the Somali diaspora sent $1.7 billion to the country, which was higher than the Somali government's budget that same year.
So that was like a half dozen dead Americans killed by illegals that don't know how to drive. I was almost killed by an illegal that didn't know how to drive just last year. My state is spending $2.5 billion on illegal immigrants this year while simultaneously passing the largest budget in state history. Man, y'all check back tomorrow because I am not done with this guy.